Hi Guy, thought I'd do something a bit special today. I'm sure you've seen it all in news, across websites, YouTube even, it's been everywhere, but it's roughly around about the time of the NES's 30th anniversary. And awesome system, as I'm sure you know, roughly when I started the YouTube channel, I came out and attempted to get a full PAL NES collection, and I think it was a long time, about 204, maybe 207 games in total. I probably got that number wrong. It's been a long time, but I managed to get, it was about 199 or 200. I was very, very close, but there was a few expensive games like I think Stack Up was one of them. I had the cartridge, but I could never get the full set with all the add-ons for it because it usually cost a fortune. And yeah, I never managed to get that. And it just got to that point, you know, real life comes along and you need money, and it wasn't getting used as much as I'd like, so I just thought, well, and off it went. I mean, I do regret it a bit because it was one of my favourite things I've collected over years. I've tried many different systems, but the NES was always one that drew me back in. It's probably because I have the fondest memories of it from when I was a kid. I mean, growing up, I think the system came out, it must have been about 87, 88 in the UK, and I'd been pestering my parents for months because we were all going through the Turtles craze, and they're bringing out this Turtle pack with the Konami, sorry, the Ultra games packed in, and it was the toy. People were going nuts for it, and I actually spoke to my parents because sadly at the end I didn't get one that Christmas. But speaking to my parents years later, they basically said that they went practically up and down the country. My dad was driving all over the country for work at the time. Spent God knows how many months trying to find one, calling shops when he was on trips and everything, and I just could never get one. And then towards the end, around about November time, when he's worrying about Christmas, he went into Toys R Us, he says, and he saw like two TVs on display. So he had the Master System and the NES on show, and then he just says, I looked at that Master System, he says it looked amazing compared to the NES one, which was all like dead basic and simple graphics and stuff. But graphics at the time was strange these days, but just at the time didn't seem to matter. It felt more about the games, and that's what everybody was into. And so I never got one at the time, and I never really got one growing up either. My entire history comes from the system because, as a kid, because I was a kid, you'd make friends with people just to play on the game systems. And one of the best ones, I can remember, I mean, my mate had got a mate with him for a while, and he got a NES for that Christmas, and it came with Turtles. So we got to play that, and he had Super Mario Brothers as well, the classic one, Duck Hunt, the gun, I think it was Gumshoe or Hogan's Alley, I'm not entirely sure, and then a bit later on he got Zelda as well, pretty much almost as a launch title shortly after, and then the Batman game. I mean, I used to drive his parents up the wall because I would always finish his games. And I remember when I'd finished Zelda and we had to tell his mum and dad that he'd done it, and I just sat there watching. But I remember because we did it round his grand's house one Sunday afternoon, and we finished it and everything. And then even after doing that, went on to do the second quest. And as a kid, you just had a lot more time and very few games, so you focused on what you had. I don't know, honestly, I played lots of games because he was looking away, they're fairly wealthy and stuff, and they were always getting new games every 3 or 4 months. And Batman was probably one of my favourites because it was so goddamn hard at the time. You couldn't play that too far. Even as a kid, I was pretty good at games, and I could never get past about the 3rd or 4th level, so I never saw the end of that one. I mean, recently, in the last few years, there's like a Batman NES ROM which has got an easy difficulty. They've dropped the difficulty, and I've actually managed to complete it. I'm happy to say it's taken me a few months, but it's been done. But yeah, I mean, going back to the NES as a console, I've dipped in and out of it over the years. I mean, it's been an absolutely fantastic system. As I got close to finishing my own collection, and then I even created a NES site about 5-6 years ago called nesbit.com. Long gone. Did a couple of magazines, For I actually produced magazines and sold them at some events and things like that, and I had a great lot of fun with it at the time. It changed and went on to other things, but no, I've always dabbled with the system. It's always been there somewhere in the background. I've got, even sat on my PC, I've got a nice big pile of mainly ROMs these days, and a couple which I've had for the Retron 5 as well. But I always come back to the NES. It was just awesome fun. I mean, some of the games I remember, things like classic Metroid, play that around about the time, I think. Zelda 2, now very black sheep of the family. Everyone, it's very hit and miss. It's like, it's very marmalade. It's like either marmalade. I don't know where that came from. People either love it or they hate it. I have to say, I absolutely loved it. The difficulty, the exploration, I was in tune with it. I could play it perfectly. I would explore it. I could complete it with ease. Going back to it to say, I can still get a fair way bit in it, but I'm getting older, so muscle memory is long since gone. but yeah, I had a fantastic time with it. And just as a system, it's hard to describe now because games are they're all consuming. They're everywhere. They're like movies now. It's a very, very big market. Everybody's into it. But in the 80s, it was smaller groups, much smaller numbers. It wasn't as big as that. The whole Atari thing. Everyone games as gamers, we see like Atari stuff as the start of the industry and blah blah, and it was all very big. But it wasn't really. It wasn't that. It wasn't a huge, and it grew over time obviously and got better. But I think the NES was the one where it started that path towards mainstream, and it really took off. As basically what Nintendo and other companies did go into the SNES era, and then when it hit the PlayStation stuff, it just boomed, went off everywhere. But I've always put it down to the NES. It was just an absolutely brilliant start. They did so many wonderful things with the games that they were going. I mean, the whole thing about the Nintendo quality seal, I mean, that all came about because you'd had so much tact on the Atari systems, and they wanted a way of proving that no, we actually produce good games and we're not going to be like that. And you've got to the companies, you've got to do something to get past this stage. But I think as the years went on, that just became a bit of a sticker on a box, because you're getting like LGN games with the Nintendo sticker seal of approval and stuff like that. It was just yeah. But yeah, so I've probably rambled off there. But yeah, I'm very fond of it as a system. It's worth a lot of love. I mean, it was a proper cheapo build. I mean, the number of systems I've had over the years which have just broken because of the dodgy cart slots and all the stuff like that. And I mean, I think what was the launch lineup? It was things like Mario and all the simple games, and it only took them 2 years really before all the much better stuff started coming out, like Castlevania 1, 2 and 3, that sort of stuff. But yeah, so just a bit of NES love there. Awesome system. I've still got, sorry, it's not a sales pitch, but that's it. I did a NES site. I think I did when I launched it, and I wanted to launch with a lot of content. I think I wrote about 50,000 words. I mean, it took me months, and I launched with reviews and wrote articles and stuff. And I got a bit of help from like the community at the time, but it was very, very small. I'm sad to say, but most of it was pushed by me writing. That's me. I mean, not wobbling on the camera. I'm doing it on bloody pages. And I actually produced a book, and I've stuck it on eBay, and it's been up there. I think it's about 70,000 words long or something, because I compile it all into a book, put all the reviews, the articles, the interviews I'd done on stuff, and I called it the Nesbit Compendium, and you can pick that up on Amazon. It's digital only. And yeah, so I'll go and have a look at that. You don't have to buy it. There's a good preview on there. Just read the first paragraph, and you'll see there, because I think the intro to that book is something I updated and redid from a section from the old website, but it just shows, because I had more time to think about it rather than just talking before a camera, why I love the NES and my history with it and stuff like that. So, but yeah, great system, guys. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you must have some sort of experience either in the UK or over in the US. I mean, in the US it was just a phenomenon. It just took off and ran. I mean, the UK, it was sort of a bit of a failure over here. It was all about the Master System, because that was the big hit here. So yeah, I did end up in a way with what everybody had, and then it was all about home computers. But like I say, the NES is just special. Go look it up, get involved. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Please rate, subscribe, and comment below, and I will see you next time.